Now let's start the local recording. I guess there's no need for the audio there. All right, so for those of you catching me on YouTube, we just saw the review, the release NX announcement video thing, and I'd like to at least talk about this on my show a little bit without copywrong smacking me down and destroying my face, as it always does. So instead, we're going to be doing it this way. Look, no audio. Isn't that great? No audio. There. Are you happy? Are you happy, you frickin' copy-wrong assholes? All right, moving along. So, let's go ahead and talk about this. Let me pull up chat. Let me pull up chat. Give me a second. I have chat on this particular screen. There we go. Okay. So, let me just go ahead and give you, before I really dissect this, let me go ahead and just give you my gut reaction. Yeah! Okay, now that I've done that, so this is very typical marketing style when it comes to Nintendo. They're still aiming for a particular brand of gamer, and I find it interesting that they're basically aiming for the brand of gamer with regards to the way this entire video is constructed, with the way it's directed, with the people they show on screen, all that stuff, are the exact people who the PS4 and the Xbox are not aiming for at this point in time. That's good. That's good. Trying to compete with the PS4 and the Xbox at this point in time is, in my blunt opinion, a mistake. They shouldn't be trying to present themselves as the competition to the other consoles. They should be presenting themselves as completely segregate from the other consoles. I actually have a topic about this. I want to talk about this lore week, which we're going to be talking about this lore week. So we'll get there. But the other thing I notice is the March thing. That is, again, exactly what they should do. I find this hilarious because I was just talking over this previous week while I was playing WoW that with my friend Pax, that they should not release the NX this holiday season or next holiday season. It should release in between that. It should not come out in direct opposition to either console. It should come out in the waning gap in between, which is a much better likelihood for them to actually get money. Now, what Illyria just said, I don't want to get too much into this topic now because I really do want to talk about this during this lore week. But I think this is probably the only actual gaming console that I see on the market right now that isn't a handheld. I'm 100% serious about that sentence. I don't mean any offense to people who like the PS4 or the Xbox. But they're mini PCs. They're not consoles anymore. And again, I have a whole topic to talk about this Sunday. This looks like an actual console. For good and for bad. There are good and bad parts about that. Let's make that clear. So, of course they show off Zelda first. Of course they're going to. Why wouldn't they? It would be ridiculous not to. I'd comment on the decoration of how they set up this room to make it look like your typical low, 20s to 30s-year-old average, I have lots of money and have a nice house kind of a situation. Let's not even talk about that. I'm not even going to talk about how this reminds me a lot of Twilight Princess. What I am going to talk about is several things I noticed throughout the thing. So, first of all, there's the actual console. Let's just pause here for a moment. Although that's actually not the full console. What we have here, you notice right off the bat there's a couple of ports there. I'm not actually sure what kind those are, but I always assumed that this would be a console that would have, where is it? Ugh! Would have something like this, okay? And that you would be able to like plug a 3DS into this, and then you'd be able to play your 3DS on this or on your TV instead of just on your 3DS. This was what I was assuming. I was wrong. So my prediction was wrong, and yet right at the same time. I'll talk about that later. Instead, what we have is actually a console in which the controllers, you'll notice there's like 4 controller methods listed here. You have the option to play it as a normal console. He's got the mini controllers which snap to each other. You can snap the controllers on, let's just keep playing because I can showcase it a little better here. So there's the mini controllers, which look very small, actually. That does look pretty small for my hands. That does not look particularly fun to play with, but we'll move on with this. There's it like that. That's what I wanted to show earlier. That's the full console right there. First thing I want to talk about is the layout. Now, I'm not sure I like this yet. Let me go ahead and say that I like the Wii U's controller. I always have. Ever since I first put one in my hands and started playing it. This is great. One of the big things I like about this is the analogs are right here, and the non-analogs are right here, right? You notice on this console, it's the exact, it's flipped, sort of. You might call it switched. So the left side looks weird in the fact that it's got this. It doesn't have the typical D-pad. It has 4 buttons instead. And on the right side, the Zabi is up top, and the analog is up bottom. That's my first concern about this. That does not look fun to play. We'll see in action. You know, I don't want to prejudge. So here's, of course, the actual handheld hybrid thing. It's the first thing they present. Of course it is. And that is basically the equivalent of this. For those of you who don't know where, you can basically play the Wii U as a short-range handheld. I have actually played Wii U games, you know, reclining in bed, for example, because you can actually just pull up the game on the screen and play it completely there. Again, I'm worried about the D-pad and I'm worried about the layout. I don't have much else to say about that. I'll talk more about the controller side of things later. Now, this is the interesting part right here. The fact that you can take it away from the actual console. I mentioned that this is a very short-range handheld, because I could take this at most like 20 feet away from the Wii U. After that point, it's like, can't find it, can't find it. This guy goes outside with the thing. There's several ways they could pull this off and still have the game be functional in that format. It is my opinion that what they're doing is loading a decent amount of the game into the RAM of the handheld, and there will be limits of how long it can run or its battery life or whatever that will restrict its usage, but that nevertheless you can play it away from the actual home console. You just won't have the same graphics capacity you would on the main console. Something like that. That's a presumption on my part. But it is logical based on the circumstances, especially given several things we've heard about the graphics capacity of this thing. So, so this part right there, do you see what just happened right there? I'm not 100% sure what he's sliding into the console. Here, I'll pause it at a better spot here. The current rumor is that it will be $300, Thane. Although that is a rumor. Okay, there we go. Here, see. You see that? That is either a 3DS cartridge, or much more likely, it is actually one of the new gaming cartridges. But I'm not really sure what to make of that. There's a lot that could be inferred from that, because if that is actually where the games are going to be, what's the point of the main console, right? Like, what's the point of this thing? But I do have an answer for that. I've been talking recently about how hilarious it is that, what are you linking me? Oh. Okay, apparently that is in fact the actual game card. Okay, so I am correct in my prediction there. It's not, so apparently that is not a 3DS cartridge. That is unfortunate, actually. I was hoping it was a 3DS cartridge when I first saw it. But also 3DS cartridges, and I've just looked down at the ones that are on my table, are light gray, not black. So I was wrong about that. But what that means is my prediction is correct. So here's how this works out. This is a handheld. Think about it this way. This is a handheld device that can hook up to a docking station that will be able to punch out the game that is on the handheld cartridge into higher res graphics and be able to easier port it to the TV. It is a 3DS you can upscale to your TV. That's what this is. That's actually better than what I was assuming it would be, because that means these games have the graphics capacity to be properly upscaled to the TV rather than just throwing a 3DS up on this. I mean, I could do that right now. I've got my one with the capture card. I could throw my 3DS up on the TV right now. It's still going to be 3DS resolution. The idea of actually properly upscaling, that'd be great. Assuming it does do proper upscaling. That is an asterisk we have to attach to that. And battery life is going to be a huge concern here, I predict already. What I want to know well, let's just move on. Let's move on because there's several other things. So obviously he's just playing the handheld thing, you know, the tablet kind of style thing. No problems with that. I think that works. Now we see what will probably be my most likely play style here. First of all, it has a headphone jack that's good built into it. That is an absolutely good thing. I like that they show that off. Whoa, there's the other thing I want to show off. So you see that right there. For those of you who have not played with the new 3DS XL thing, there's this little knob right up here that you can use. Only a couple of games are programmed to use it, and you can use it for like some camera control and stuff. It's hard to describe how to use it. It works surprisingly well for the games that are built for it, and I don't even notice it otherwise. I think that's exactly what we're seeing there with that tiny little D-pad just above that. Just a prediction. Not certain about that. You notice it does have RNLs, of course. He's playing Skyrim. The fact that this is a game that's trying for third-party things is a good thing. Of course, the Wii U did that too and didn't succeed, so we'll see. Then there's this. Yes, this is the other thing I wanted to show off. Looks like they're allowing that thing. Now, notice it is a different model, but you know they're allowing that to be used for this console. Here's a big asterisk. Will that come with the actual console? Now, I'd put a very high likelihood it will not. That this will be an accessory we can buy, just like the Wii U Pro controller, whatever it's called. But that looks like the Wii U Pro controller and everything that I like about that controller. The fact that it has, it's a good grip, it's got good button placement, etc., etc. So that's neat. But yeah, sorry, there was something I wanted to talk about earlier. That right there. That's how I primarily played my Wii. For those of you not aware, you can play it with the nunchuck, or excuse me, with the main controller and the nunchuck separate like this, except in this case there would be no loose cable between the two, so you've just got these two wireless controllers attached to the main thing. And that's actually pretty cool. The idea of being able to play that is something that I would enjoy. I like the options is what I'm trying to say. So that's four control methods we've seen so far. We've seen the little controller like this. We've seen the tablet-style control. We've seen what he's doing right here with the remote, the two dual controls thing, and then, of course, whoops, sorry. Then there's the gentleman who is playing with the Wii Pro controller. So 4 control styles out of the box, which is nice. Fingers crossed that, you know, that accessory does not cost so much, because I'm probably going to pick it up if I do pick that up. And then they show off a couple of other things, like the fact that the screen is actually detachable, which is nice. I don't think they showed a lot of specific details on the hardware of how this works. You notice I don't know where the rest of it is. But the screen's right there, just kind of attached to this little thing. You'll notice each of them has one of the 2 controllers. This admittedly does make the weird setup of how there's the 2 analogs and the 2 D-pads make sense, because now each small controller, which is tiny admittedly, functions as its own thing. So this is actually 5 control styles if you're paying attention. And also, that looks incredibly, it's region-free? Oh, that's awesome. About freaking time that Nintendo figured that one out. That's the kind of thing that looks like it's meh to me. The whole, you know, that looks like it would be awkward and uncomfortable. But that's a cool option to use for example, for a drive to someplace, or if you just want to screw around with a friend for a little bit while you're waiting for something. So that looks like a, you know, let's just play around for a little bit option. Of course, showing lots of activity. Got to keep showing that off. Lots of variety of people, of course. I talk about the marketing here, but I don't feel like it. It's very typical. I like the stand thing, by the way. I do like that a lot. I know that sounds weird because, I mean, the 3DS XL is a handheld, but one thing I wouldn't mind having is like a stand. Now, I know there is that stand thing. You can brace it in. You actually need it for what's it called? The Kid Icarus game. I can't think of the name of it. But that's neat that it's just built right into the thing, so you could just brace it right there. And, of course, they're playing the little versions, too. I don't recognize this game. I can't comment on it. It's a basketball game, of course, but that's all I got. And there's the control. So, okay, this is actually something I wanted to see for 2 big reasons. Uprising, thank you. So, first of all, I don't know how large that woman is compared to me. This is not a fat joke. It's just I have large hands. And my biggest concern with regards to that controller, which is the one we saw right at the beginning, was how comfortable that'll be to fit in my hands. As I've mentioned before, one of my problems personally with the original 3DS is this thing. If you can literally see how large my hands are compared to this thing. I'm overlapping here to hold this thing, so I'm not sure how large that controller is. If it's more like, say, this size, which as you can see is much more comfortable for my hands to feel, that would be awesome. Or I could just buy the Wii Pro controller. But they're also showing a Mario game that I don't recognize. That might be the latest Mario Party, or this might be our first sneak peek at whatever the next Mario game is going to be. I just thought I'd throw that out there as an aside. Also, of course, because marketing involves every single little thing that's going to be in the shot, you'll notice they also happen to have Yoshi, Bowser, Mario, and Peach amiibos just up there. Now, there could be a lot of reasons for that, but I would put 100% certainty that the Switch, excuse me, I keep trying to call it the NX, the Switch will have amiibo functionality. That's something we probably assumed because the amiibos have been selling like hotcakes, and to not have amiibo functionality would be an incredibly stupid decision, but it's nice to see something close to a confirmation there. And there, again, the amiibos are in several shots, just to really make the point across. Also, if you go over to a friend's place and just like, here, I'm going to bring my Nintendo game with you. I mean, maybe you should think about your friends again. But you'll notice they were able to multiplay, so that implies the new Mario game will have multiplayer. Implication, not reality, just pointing it out. Splatoon, of course. I've noticed, and some of my viewers have already pointed this out, several viewers have already pointed out, it looks like there's going to have a lot of Wii U games that are playable on this. Please let Nintendo continue their trend. That is my hope. If you don't understand what I mean by that, Nintendo has been really good about one-off backwards compatibility for a while, since the GBA, actually. The GBA could play Game Boy games. The DS could play GBA games. The 3DS can play DS games. Similarly, the Wii could play GameCube games, and the Wii U could play Wii games. I am hoping that my Wii U library will just be playable on the Switch. And that brings me to, this is just some more stuff, so there's not really much else to add here, but I did want a closer look at the console. The thing they showed off the least is the main console right there, and unfortunately, looks like I'm not going to be able to see it. That is unfortunate. I was really hoping to see if there's anything similar to a CD slot in it. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have that kind of continued backwards compatibility. I don't know if it's going to be able to play Wii U games. I don't know if it's going to be able to play 3DS games. If it had backwards compatibility, that would be awesome, but it's not necessary, but it would be awesome. Well, see, the thing about that, FF12 Maniac, is the cartridges go into the tablet, not the console. That's why I wanted to see the console, the actual dock there. Unfortunately, I only get to see about a half, or actually like a third of the actual dock there. Maybe it shows a little bit more of it here. No. Looks like it doesn't. So, yeah, we've seen before, the actual cartridges go into that thing, not the dock. I am hoping, fingers crossed, of two things that we don't have 100% confirmed here. These are my biggest concerns right now, just off the top of my head. So for those of you not aware, you can just buy upscalers. The thing is, they don't actually upscale things. Or to explain what I mean by that, they just stretch things. So they take a single pixel and they magnify it. So what you're looking at is something that is still effectively the same resolution as the original. It doesn't look better, it's just stretched to be bigger. Make sense? So that's what, like, I've actually got an upscaler right down there for the GameCube, which I don't even have hooked up right now, and for the PS2. So that's an example of what upscalers do. What I am hoping is this thing will actually present the game in a higher resolution rather than being just an upscaler. My second big concern is that main dock there is basically just a battery port / HDMI output. In other words, that its only purpose is to be a way to hook your 3DS up into the TV. I know that's a comparison, but you get the point. That's still a neat idea. I'm still in favor of that. But if that's all it does, that doesn't quite justify the price in my mind. That doesn't quite justify having this additional piece of hardware whose only point is to hook my 3DS up to the TV. Make sense? So I'm hoping there's more features on the actual dock in addition to the upscaling, which may or may not be, upscaling or may be actual increased resolution and the battery thing. I did notice those two things on the slide there. I would really love if anybody who is more tech-savvy than me could tell me what kind of ports those are. It looks like USB ports, but I'm not 100% certain. And hello, Caesar, or Kaiser, if you prefer. What's up? You've chosen an interesting time to show up. We're kind of doing an impromptu stream here for the Nintendo Switch reveal. But as I say to everyone who shows up on my streams, shout-outs, don't be a stranger. I love talking with my viewers. I love interacting and chatting with the viewers live on stream. Hey, Nothrism. What is up? They do look like USB ports, but I have to wonder. Nothing I have seen indicates a use for USB. Yes, Baronessa is a complete stranger, of course, because she hates me, and she definitely doesn't want to show up tomorrow at 11 a.m. EST when we start playing Civ 6, does she? Is it? Oh, God, yeah, I guess you're right, 12maniac. Anyways, I had one other thing I wanted to point out. Let me see if I can remember where that was. That's true. That's true. I won't deny that. Why does everyone wear cut jeans? Is that it? Is that what I wanted to point out? Okay. This is actually a good sign in my opinion. What we're looking at the top of the actual tablet is what looks like a cooling vent. Now, if you don't understand why that's a good thing, look at your 3DS really quick. Do you see a cooling vent on it? No, because it doesn't need one. A cooling vent usually implies some kind of graphics potential or CPU potential or both that requires cooling. It is also possible that I am talking up my ass and that's actually the speakers. Take your pick. That's actually a good point. Maybe we could see... Where's the front? Give me just a sec here. Right there. What do you guys think? Speakers or vent? That looks a lot like a vent to me. That looks a lot like a vent to me. What do you guys think? Again, by the way, the headphone jack being on the top is a good thing. If you don't understand what I mean by that, one of my few irritants with the 3DS is the headphone jack is on the bottom, which can get irritating at times. Oh, hang on. I wanted to point out one other thing, too. You'll notice it has two R and L buttons. Now, that's not really new, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, the Wii U also has two R and U buttons. It's got these ones and these ones. And you'll notice right there, I actually didn't notice that before. You can actually see it right here. There's a clear line in between the front R button and the back R button. You see that? Now, that could be just for the Wii U functionality. I'm not sure. But two R and two L buttons are present there. Yeah, I hate jacks on the side, too. Top is my personal preference. I'm just really digging into this design here at this point. The bottom only bothers me in certain circumstances. Of course, they show off Skyrim. That's not a big surprise. I wonder if Nintendo will allow for modding on Skyrim. That would be a big plus, in my opinion, for Nintendo. And Hazegoat, sorry, we're still kind of digging into the specifics of the hardware. Yeah, and you can see the second R button there as well. And the tiny little D-pad. I think I've already given my opinion on that, though. I want to see the left controller up close. They've shown the right controller up close several times. but they're not really showing the left one. Damn! I was really hoping to see the right side of that. Yeah, by the way, for those of you not aware, there's a Red Dead Redemption 2 announcement coming out in 26 minutes. I've already shown off that thing. I don't have anything to add about that. Oh, that's a good point I did. Where was that picture? This is a terrible picture. I mean, it's small is what I'm saying. But it does show off the 5 methods of looking at it. I don't know, Zagoten. Like I said, I really don't. Yeah, the car portion. Hang on, let's switch forward a little. Oh, it's right here. Whoops! I didn't mean to hit that button. There we go. I have to admit, my single biggest concern, my absolutely biggest concern with this is battery life. Like, I mentioned my concerns about the dock being unnecessary and all that. By far, my largest concern here is battery life. I mean, reverse compatibility is something I am big on. It's something I believe consoles should have. I really do. But battery life is going to be a gargantuan concern. Like, this tablet, as much as I do like the Wii U a lot, this thing has like a 3-hour battery life, and that's on the outside, which is not good. I'm sorry, it's crap. It's probably my biggest complaint with the Wii U. So, real quick, I'm going to pull something up here. Nintendo has released a thing. Hang on just a second. Behold! Oh, what? That's Dareth. You don't want to see Dareth. Give me a second. Of course, my own phone has battery life problems too, so whatever. There it is. So this is the partners that are listed. I'm going to go ahead and leave it this large so I can show it around a bit. So we've got 505 Games, Activision, which makes me tilt my head a little bit. We're going to see some Call of Duties on there. Atlas, that's a big one. Arc System Works, Bandai Namco, eh. Bethesda, we kind of saw that one. Capcom, that's not a big surprise. Hamster, Gung Ho, Grasshopper Manufacturer, Game Trust, Frozen Byte. From Software is going to be there. From Software. That's actually pretty positive. EA, don't care. Codemasters, Inti Creates, Konami. Level 5, that's hugely positive. Unexpected, but, you know, hugely positive for me. Marvelous, Maximum Games, don't know how to pronounce that. Starbreeze, let's skip over that one. Spike, Shunsoft, Sega, of course. I don't know this one. The one kind of in the middle, the one to the left of Sega. I don't know what that one is. So please feel free to tell me what that one is. Parody Bit, Take-Two, that's positive. Telltale Games, we kind of expected that one though. THQ Nordic, Tokyo RPG Factory, we'll get that. Ubisoft, don't care. T-Games, don't care. Warner Brothers, don't care. Epic Games, that's surprising. Dina, Cryware, Autodesk, WeWise, something I don't know how to pronounce. Havoc is going to be on here. Rad, Silicon, Ubitus, Unity, and Web Technology. That's Platinum? That's Platinum? Awesome! Okay, so there's 4 on here I really want to draw your attention to. A lot of these are actually kind of the expected ones. This one right in the middle, Square Enix. And this one, Tokyo RPG Factory. Those two are not only are just like half surprising, but half not surprising. If you don't explain what I mean by that, Square Enix has not had a problem working with Nintendo lately. I mean, Bravely Default and Bravely Default 2nd, for example. So just seeing those companies get closer together, in my opinion, is a positive thing. Let's see FF15 on this, you know? Let's freaking see some high quality stuff on the Switch. The other two that really caught my eye are From Software. You guys all kind of already talked about that. I mean, enough said, really. Imagine if Bloodborne actually comes out on the Switch. And the other one that really caught my eye is one I've already forgotten about. Where was it? Hang on. I'm just looking at it now. I swear there was another one that was surprising to me. Maybe not. I am surprised Epic Games is on here. No, level 5 is kind of expected. THQ, that's not really the original THQ. Oh, of course, Sony would never let go of Bloodborne because they're evil. Konami. Let's not even talk about Konami. I think Epic Games was the other one that really caught my eye as a surprising one to be on this list. I'm not even sure what they're making nowadays. I mean, they make, like, the Unreal stuff, for example. Blizzard is, of course, not on here. Why would it be? Bzz. There we go. Time have I got? I got about 20 minutes more. I thought I had one other thing that caught my eye on my second viewing here. Give me a second. Just kind of zip through here really quick. Activision, I'm not sure what to think of. I don't know what Activision's actually making now, independent of Blizzard Activision. Hey, Sonashi, you guessed correctly. Okay, I did want to comment on this. This is something that I hope Nintendo will get on the bandwagon for. It is too late. Let's be blunt. It is too little too late. But it is something that should happen. Nintendo should be supporting esports. They should be a part of that. And this strikes to me the idea that they're really going to start pushing that. Now, they've already started that a little bit in recent times. They've already started pushing esports a little bit. So, more Nintendo support of esports, especially more Nintendo games that are designed with the idea of esports in mind, is in my book a positive thing. Esports is a fairly large aspect of gaming in general right now. To deny that would be ridiculous. I guess that's all I got. So that's the Nintendo Switch, guys. Now, see you around, Fuke. Overall, I am actually impressed by what I'm seeing. Legitimately, I am impressed by what I'm seeing. What I am still exceptionally curious about are things that are probably not going to be revealed for a while, like library, for example. You guys know me. It doesn't matter that it's Nintendo. It doesn't matter if it's a cool console. It has to sit and live on its library. Now, I bought the Wii, well, I bought the 3DS on faith, and Spirit donated to me. Thank you again, Spirit. You're still awesome. The Wii U to me. But the reason I wanted the Wii U was on faith. Both of those games, both of those consoles, when I got them, did not have a library to procure. And since then, both have paid off. I mean, I showed this off with its 24 3DS games, and I've got eight more than this lying around. So, those were purchases that I don't regret. But I'm not exactly as financially stable as I used to be, and I'm not really sure that I can just I can just drop $300 on faith anymore. So until I see more about libraries, I'm not sold, personally. Also, this is Nintendo. And there are two things that are true, well, yeah, two things that are very true about Nintendo and always have been. Number one, they like to push boundaries and they like to try new things, which is both a good and a bad thing. Anytime you have the backing and the money necessary to go try new things and you know, go ahead and do it, that's awesome and all, but 9 times out of 10, or well, that's an exaggeration, but most of the time you're going to fail. And if you actually look back at all of Nintendo's old all the things they've been pushing out, Nintendo has actually failed quite a bit over the years. So that's the first thing about Nintendo. And the second thing about Nintendo is they tend to mess weird things up. They tend to get like 8 out of 10 things right, and then 2 out of 10 things wrong. And then the next iteration, they'll get different things right and different things wrong. So I have no idea how much of this is going to be aggregate. I don't know the battery life. I don't know what's actually going to be functional on the actual dock itself. I don't know if it's actually going to properly upscale or if it's actually going to show a new resolution. I don't know if it's going to have backwards compatibility. I don't know if it's going to be able to play 3DS games. I don't know anything with regards to this console in terms of actual meat. So here's hoping is my final thoughts on that. Sure, Tigzar. Here's the occasion right here. There you go. 16 minutes left. I really wasn't supposed to be streaming this morning. Ugh. I wonder. Let me pull something up here really quick. While we're still here. This is definitely a net positive in my opinion. I do think this is a net positive. I do. I am, overall, my interest is higher than it was before an hour ago. Because overall, my thoughts on the NX were just kind of... Of course it doesn't, 12 Maniac. RDR still hasn't come out on the frickin' PC. It's one of the reasons I've never replayed it, by the way. Oh, about freaking time that we're going to get Dragon Quest X here in the States. Good lord. What do we got here? Oh, here's a nice up-close picture of the thing. What is that? Apparently they're what? They're actually... Apparently they're like releasing a new Mario Kart 8 with just a few small changes to it. I don't know what to make of that, really. Well, 2 item slots, though. That's cool. Mario Kart Dash and all that. I'm trying to figure out what that is. Hang on, let me see if I can get this picture. Yeah, I can. Give me a sec. I'm going to show you guys a picture while we wait for RDR. Let's get rid of this for the moment. Okay. Wow, this is a large picture. That's exactly what I wanted, though. So it looks like we finally see the right side. I don't see anything like a CD drive over there. And with no CD drive on the left side, that means it's exceptionally unlikely there's direct Wii U backwards compatibility, which sucks. Here's the actual controller. Very close-up image here, which is nice. You can see the home button right there, which is what I was wondering. What looks like the... I'm actually not sure what that is. The start button, maybe? There's the D-pad, the new D-pad, which I'm really not sure what to make of. The 2 analogs, the Zabies, the little mini camera thing, and I'm guessing that's the select button up there in the upper left. Not sure, though. And, of course, this is the default controller right here, the one you're supposed to just have and play the game, and will almost assuredly come with it. There's the actual tablet. You can see a little bit of it like a selector. I don't know if that's volume or what on the top there, and what looks like a power button on the left. And then there's the vent that's probably a vent. There's the cartridge thing, and there's the headphone jack. And yeah, here's just a demonstration of the thing being slid out. Well, cartridges are actually better than CDs at this point in history. I was actually talking with a friend about that recently. I can get a terabyte SD card nowadays, which is faster and better than a Blu-ray in almost every way. And yeah, one thing that several viewers pointed out, there does in fact appear to be a on-the-fly just switch mode. You know, you want to switch on the fly, you're going to be able to do so. I wish... Okay, so here's a person's hand. I have no idea, Metro. Here's a person's hand. I don't know how big that person's hand is, but I can just kind of assume based on size. So that's... I'm going to be really, really geeky here, guys. I'm going to actually measure. Give me a moment. I'm going to use my business card to measure. Yes, I have a business card. What do you want from me? Okay, so that's... to the N. Okay. I don't know what Tigs are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Give me a moment. 8, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. It's about this wide. And I just realized you can't see me. Just the slide thing, just the tablet there. Hang on, I don't want to lose my place here. I'll mark it with this. There we go. Let me switch it back so you can see this. It is at an angle, and this is an extremely improper thing, but it looks to be about this size. This thing in between here, which is pretty close to this in terms of size. So that looks like that's about how big the tablet is. Just the tablet. Which brings me to my other question. If that's how big the tablet is, I can deduce, based on that, how big these are. That looks like... So that goes from there to there. 3? Okay, so... 1, 2, 3... Those are small. Damn, those are small. I guess I kind of saw that in the preview. Looks like each of the controllers is going to be minuscule. I mean, I guess you can see that with this person's hand right there. But these actual controllers by themselves look really, really, really small. I don't think I'm going to like the... well, this right here, if that's about the width of that, so that would be... God, that's going to be tiny. That's going to be about like this. I just realized you can't see me. There. That's going to be... Hang on, I had it. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be... Looks like about this size on my hand. That's going to be really, really tiny. Not sure I'm going to be okay with that one. Anyways, what time is it? I think I'm going to cut off the local recording because that's all I got about the Nintendo thing. I'll be looking for news in the future. I'll probably be talking about this. In fact, I'll definitely be talking about this during the lore week. So let's cut off the YouTube views. Screw you, YouTubers. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't mean it. We'll be back.